Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're... Hey one and all, welcome back to the channel, and we're gonna get into perhaps one of the more convoluted and complicated of the Micromaster teams today. And it's these guys, these four Autobots that make up the Air Patrol team. And they will be our focus in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I am your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers, Collectors, NL, and me everywhere. And I said that this team is pretty convoluted. You see, we've already looked at the Decepticon Air Strike Patrol. And I said that in Japan, they were Autobots. In fact, they were known as the Jet Patrol. But then we actually did get an Autobot quartet of aerial figures a year later in 1990. And here in North America, they were known as the Air Patrol, but they were renamed as the Sky Patrol in Japan, I guess to differentiate them from the Jet Patrol. It's all very confusing. To kind of make matters even more convoluted, these guys have actually kind of had updates already, sort of. Not in the Siege line, no, but 3 out of 4 of these guys have had updates. In a way, it could be argued that all 4 have, even though I only have 3 figures to represent them. Are you confused yet? Don't worry, I'm going to clear it all up when we head over to the table and take a closer look at these guys. So perhaps of all of the Micromaster groups, this one has my attention the most because there's so much oddity surrounding it, both in terms of its relationship to the Decepticon Air Strike Patrol and the uniqueness of the updates that have been offered for this group. We technically have 3, maybe 3.5 updates for this group, and you'll see what I mean as we kind of go through here. They have not come with the Siege line, at least not yet, but they have come in other ways, and we'll sort of talk about it as we go through. This team is made up of 4 members, as always. The leader, Eagle Eye, Blazemaster, Sky High, and Treadbolt. So we're going to start off kind of as we always do and look at the leader first, and that would be, in this case, Eagle Eye. And I'm not even going to pretend that I know anything about jets, because I don't, but I can tell you that this guy transforms into a Boeing McDonnell Douglas FA-18C Hornet jet fighter. Wow. And like, he's a lovely little blue lad, I suppose. He did get updated in the Generations line. Well, he did get updated in Generation 2, but we're gonna skip over that and look at another, I'm gonna say, Micromaster version of him, because he got updated during the Generations line when he came out with gears and was renamed Eclipse, and he was a space shuttle this time, I guess. Still a little blue space shuttle, but you can see that, you know, they're both pretty tiny. You know, neither of them is huge to get excited about. So we're just going to take this out of the way, and I guess we'll do the conversion here. As you can guess, this is not difficult. We bring back his wings. You can see that his legs are kind of in like a seated position type of thing. So we bring them down at the hip hinge, we'll say. Bring the knees out. We fold the cockpit section down over. And if you didn't do it already, you can bring his little arms out. They barely come out past his chest. But nevertheless. Oh, and he fell over. Oh, and he fell over again. There we go. And he is a very nice looking boy, I do think. He kind of fills the bill for a Micromaster. I mean, it's like the Decepticon planes where you take the legs out of the seated position and you bring the arms out. You know, it's pretty simple conversion. Gives you a little blue and white robot. Here he is next to his Generations updated counterpart. I'm just going to center these guys slightly. And the update is actually pretty surprisingly effective in this case. The white is where the white basically should be. The blue is basically where the blue should be for the most part. Granted, we're missing a bit of black on the chest, but hey, I can live with it. Oddly, the original has better articulation than the update. The update has arms that can go around 360, but they can't go out to the sides, and he can't move his legs at all. So we're going to take him out of it, and the articulation on this little dude, he can get in the seated position, and the arms can come out straight, and that's about it. But because his legs can do something, it's a little bit better than the original. Now, he's only the first member of the team. Let's move on to the next, and the next one that got an update. And so we go on now with Sky High. And he did also get an update. By the way, if I didn't mention it already, the Air Patrol in Japan was known as the Sky Patrol. There's too much air and sky going on between the names of this group and that Decepticon group. Just saying. Makes life difficult. Now, his update, however, is the least like him. It's a really weird update. Apparently, it's supposed to match his original packaging art, which is good because it really doesn't match this guy at all. Let me show you what I mean. We have a nice little plane here. Put that down. Nice little plane here. You know, it's fine. It's fine. He actually turns into, again, I don't know planes that well, but I know enough to know that this is a Concorde. So that's what he turns into. Him and Silverbolt would probably be good friends, you know. But his update again turns into a shuttle. It's really a reuse of the other little shuttle boy that we saw a few moments ago. This time he's painted largely blue. You can see that they don't really look anything alike here. Just saying, not really at all. That doesn't really mean he's bad. It just means he's not exactly accurate. So we're going to take him out. By the way, he was renamed Flanker, and he was released back in the Generations line as well, and came out with Swerve, which I guess makes sense because, you know, his remold came with gears, and this guy came with Swerve. Makes sense. So we'll just lay him aside for a second. I like the look of this guy. You know, he looks pretty good. You know, what can I say? He looks pretty good. In terms of converting him, you put back his wings, you flip up the cockpit section up over the back of his legs. You can stand him up. You can straighten out his legs from that kind of squished up seated position, and you can straighten out his arms, and in the end you have him there like that. And again, he can get in a seated position, he can move his arms like forward and back, I guess. You know, it's a nice enough color scheme, I suppose. Here he is with his Generations update. Again, the Generations update is not colored, as far as I can tell, accurately. If anything, the blue is where the white should be, and the white is where the blue should be, and the blues aren't even the same kind of shade of blue. If you didn't tell me that this was an updated version of Sky High, I would never have known that. So, I don't know. I don't think it's the most effective. And again, the update has less articulation. Now we get to the two interesting ones. And of course, I am talking about Blazemaster and Treadbolt here. And I say interesting because really the update is for Blazemaster, even named Blazemaster, but I think you'll see that it also kind of works as an update for Treadbolt. Nevertheless, we'll look at these one at a time in comparison to that update. In terms of vehicle mode, I'll get it out of the way here now, however. The update came with Generations Bumblebee, and it's this little blue helicopter. And I would say it matches Blazemaster because it's a helicopter, but it also matches Treadbolt because it's a blue flying vehicle. Now, that being said, you could just say, hey, yeah, okay, it's Blazemaster, but blue. But I think that the story becomes a little more interesting when we see the comparison in robot mode. So Blazemaster first. And so Blazemaster here is a nice looking, I guess it's supposed to be gold helicopter, but I think it's yellow. It's not gold plastic, I don't think. Like, he seems fine. I don't feel like anything's going to break or crumble or anything like that. You could take out his rotors. You can flip back actually, before you flip that all the way back, you can start to flip back his tail section. It will reveal his head. You can flip out his legs, and though they're connected at the knees, and flip back tail section the rest of the way. Though they're connected at the knees, his lower legs are independently, I guess, articulated. Like they're two separate pieces. They're not one piece like we've had with the planes. There, man, I stumbled over that. There's little pegs right here on the kind of back of his hand, like 3 millimeter maybe, and we can put his like helicopter rotors in there. Stand them up. And that's what we have in the end. He can get in a seated position. His arms go forward and back. He does have, like the cars and trucks in the Micromaster line, like independent lower legs, like each knee can bend. Now, the knees are connected, but I mean, they're independent of each other, and I think that is very cool. I love his coloring. I think it works so nicely. Probably better than his Generations update, which, it's all right, but the colors are obviously reversed. Like, the gold is where the blue should be, the blue is where the gold should be. It doesn't really look like Blazemaster. And he has his rotors on his back, not his arm. Apparently, the rotors can come off of the update and go in Bumblebee's arm. When I reviewed Bumblebee ages ago, just like when I reviewed Swerve and Gears ages ago, I'm sure I covered, how they're able to work as blasters and whatnot. They have a few other features, but comparing apples to apples here, robot to robot, again, I would not know that this is Blazemaster necessarily unless you told me. I probably would have said, little Autobot helicopter could be Blazemaster, and indeed that's the name that they went with. But this isn't the only guy that this little robot homages. And whereas Blazemaster turns into a Sikorsky MH-53 Pavlo helicopter, this guy, Treadbolt, he turns into a concept stealth bomber jet. I don't know if this was ever even produced or if it was, never anything more than a concept, but it looks cool. This guy, he has a conversion that flips his wings back. You stand him up, you flip down his feet. His feet are in the front, and you flip them down, and you bring his little arms forward, and you can stand this guy up. And again, he looks pretty cool. His arms can go forward. He can get in a seated position, though his backpack might keep him from actually sitting down. But look at him next to this guy. Come on. Do not tell me that this does not also work as an update and an homage to this guy. Yes, it's a different vehicle mode, being a helicopter, but the colors are spot on. That being said, I feel like that the G1 versions of Blazemaster and Treadbolt are the best of these sort of aerial vehicles because, like with the cars and the trucks, their lower legs, though connected at the knee, are independently separate and articulated. So what do we think about this set? I'd say the colors are pretty nice. Now, they're not quite as uniform as some of the other groups, but I don't know. They're nice, I suppose. I guess we'll say 10, because why not? The articulation. Because we have two figures that really have the articulation of some of the better sets, being the trucks and cars, and because we have two figures that don't have quite as good of articulation because of that one lower leg piece, which is more like the Decepticon jets, I feel like this is a set that's sort of in between those. So if the Decepticon jets are 6 or 7, and if the Autobots that we've looked at so far have been a 7 or an 8, then I feel like that this is kind of in the middle. This would probably be right at a 7. The conversion, that's a 10. So overall, like the set, I guess, is about a 7 or so. It's a good set. I still think that for the size that they are, they hold up pretty well today. I mean, the Siege figures that we've been getting have had some better articulation. Particularly a good standout has been the Decepticon jets, oddly. But I look forward to seeing kind of what we get updated with these guys. I'll say this, the G1 counterparts here are better articulated than the 3 updates that we have had thus far. If you're looking to kind of amass this team based on what is available as of this recording, rather than try and hunt down the Generations counterparts, I think I'd go back in time somewhat and get the actual G1 set, because it's still pretty great. And here we are once again, here they are, and like, I feel like when the Decepticon team was planned, it was done sort of lackluster and it was phoned in. At least 2 of these guys I think were planned a little bit better because they have slightly improved leg articulation. That being said, the modern day homage to this guy over here is fine. The modern day homage to this guy here, no, I have that wrong. And here we are once again, and here they are. And I feel like the Micromaster update for... And we're back once again, and here they are, and I feel like the planning that went into the Decepticon team was a little bit lackluster. At least 2 out of 4 of these guys are slightly improved, if for nothing else because of better leg articulation. Or, well, lower leg articulation. The update for Micromaster, which I think really suffices for him and Treadbolt, is a nice homage to both in its own way. The update for Sky High, being Eclipse, I think, was alright, but the guy who got kind of the short end of the stick, and here we are once again, and here they are, and I feel like the planning that went into the Decepticon team was very lackluster, and it's improved for at least 2 out of 4 of these guys. I think that this team turned out better. Now the update that we got for Micromaster and Treadbolt is alright, it's a decent homage to both, even though the articulation is more limited, and I'd like to see a proper update for each of them. The update that we got for Eagle Eye was also alright, I guess, but the guy who really got kind of the short end of the stick is Sky High. His update, being Eclipse, was... Oh my god. Who was his update? I can't even remember who his update was. And here we are, and here they are, and I'm getting real tired of trying to film this. Yes, I've tried about 5 different times now because I can't remember all their names, man. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say this. I think that the Decepticons were really done a disservice when their team was planned. At least 2 out of 4 of these guys are better, if for nothing else, because the lower legs have improved articulation. Now the update that we've gotten so far for Micromaster, which really serves him and Treadbolt, is alright. I don't have a problem with it. Not at all. Would I like to see a proper update? Sure. Something with improved articulation? Definitely. And we may see it in the Siege line. That leaves 2 more members, Sky High and Eagle Eye. One of them got a good, kind of very true update. The other one had one that's not even really his colors. Now, to be fair, as I'm saying that, I don't know if this guy is Eagle Eye or Sky High, and I don't know if this guy is Eagle Eye or Sky High. I can't ever keep straight who is who. I can tell you this, Eclipse is the one that is very true to this guy, and Flanker is the one that is not true to this guy. I think this is Sky High. I hope I got that right. I don't know. I'm getting tired of all these names. There's a lot of, like, little known characters and like words that I'm sure they just picked from a dictionary and said, hey, that can apply here, it'll be alright. And you know what? Indeed it is alright. This, I think, is a better group than the Decepticon one. I'd love to see what they can do in the Siege line. Let's see if that happens. Anyway, let me know what you think about these guys, because they're quite a story unto themselves. I like them. I really like them, but I'd love to know what you think. As always, I'm going to say please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out so very much. Thanks for giving me some of your very valuable time, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here inside the videos.